Hey folks, and welcome to this symposium. Today we're going to talk about the supply and demand software because there have been a ton of changes and updates and whatnot over the past 6 weeks or so. So I just want to run through those one by one so that everyone is up to speed as to what the changes are doing. I'm upstairs today and it's raining a lot, so you can probably hear a lot of rain in the background as it hits the canopy of the jungle. But I hope it's not too distracting as I do the video today. Okay, so the software has had a lot of changes over the course of the past maybe 6 to 8 weeks. One of them was a bug that was mentioned by several people in the room, and it was something like when you navigated to the weekly or the monthly chart, then the terminal would hang and essentially freeze. You would have to force it to close and then restart it. And this was because of missing historical data. And so when you go into, for example, the weekly chart where there's limited historical data, or the monthly chart, and the software would obviously automatically start to perform an analysis, but sometimes there was missing data and the software would try and look for more data than was available, and so there'd be a bit of a hang there, which was essentially what was calling this bug. So that has been fixed, and so now you can, if I show you here, now you can go to the monthly chart and the weekly chart and nothing happens. It's just a bit of a kind of a mess up from my side, and that's been all fixed now. As you can see, everything's working just fine. And then there was a couple of other things that were changed. I added a couple of sections. The first of them is the high liquidity settings. When this is set to true, the software only displays areas of supply and demand that were created between the server time of your MT4 platform. Between the open and the close of the server time of your MT4 platform. Okay, and so this has to line up with, for example, when London would open and when New York would close. Okay, so you have to figure out what that is. This is for my broker, which is GMT +3, which is I think Eastern Standard Time. So there's that one, and then there's another one called, where is it? Here, boxing. Okay, boxing is enabled by default, and boxing is automatic drawing of the boxes that we would typically use when performing the boxing analysis. So when this is enabled, as it is here, it'll look like this. It'll identify the most recent swing, and the most recent swing significant enough to attach a trend line to it. Okay, so this would be where the second point in this trend line would be attached. Okay, so it starts here and it goes to the highest high since then. If price is going lower, then obviously it would be from the most previous swing high until the lowest low. And then it would typically just draw this box on the chart for us so that we could kind of eyeball our boxing analysis. And so what we would do in a situation like this is you could then take the fibs like that and you would draw it like that, and then you could expect that once price leaves the high, it'll come back to the median of this box, and typically it'll go even further. So on the first test we went to the 50 and we moved back up to here, then we went to the 62, and we have not been back since then. So we can expect next time price comes is probably going to go a little bit deeper in the box. And the beauty of having this is that it enables us to, let me draw it here, from here to here. It enables us to see where we have like a discount price between two price points, a historical low and a historical high. Okay, so this is like a discount price, and this is premium. And this is the 50% point between those, so it's an average of the low and the high. Okay, and so typically, if price goes from a low price and moves up to a high price, if it manages to come back to about 50% of that move, then that's typically a pretty interesting place, and you'll often see people begin to reinvest in a market. Okay, and this is just a really cool way to do this automatically. And sometimes the software is also doing this on different time frames, and it's also doing it for the buy and the sell zone as well. So if we go, let's try here. I'm probably not there. If we go to maybe the 15-minute chart, Okay, maybe we can see a couple of different ones from here to here, I'm thinking. Okay, so from here to here, and then it's also created a buy side. So we have the sell side, we have the buy side, and so far the buy side looks like this, in that we have a low that's been formed, and it's moving, price is moving away, and so we would typically expect price to move down to like a 50% place or more, and continue to move higher. But the good thing about having an analysis like this is that we know then that we're not allowed to sell at this, for example. We're not allowed to sell there. We're only allowed to sell at supply that is formed on the sell side. Okay, so this is the sell side, this is the buy side. Actually, all of this is the buy side. The software is identifying the most recent swing, significant swing low, and it's running price up to the high. So it's a little bit more refined the way the software is doing it, and the way I would typically talk about it when I would do this stuff manually. Okay, we jump to another time frame and see what that looks like. It's probably going to go from here to here. It's going to look similar to the way it was. Okay, here we have the buy and the sell side kind of lining up nicely, where we have the sell side is here and the buy side is from the low and then up to here. Okay, and so we would be looking to buy. I mean, here there was a nice micro demand, price tested it, but here, I mean, there's nothing to do until price moves. Let's have a look. To these lows here. So once price comes here, maybe there would be an increase or an interest in to begin to sell. If we zoom out a little bit, go to the 50-minute charts, maybe there is, yeah, I mean, it's just like a very typical, area of demand, tested, removed, and there's something in here that caused that to happen, so we can expect price to have a reaction there. Okay, so that's what we have. So we've covered the bug fix, we've covered the high liquidity times for the drawing of supply and demand, and we have covered the boxing software, so the boxing functionality as well, which is the final addition to the software. Okay, but use it. If you find anything that doesn't seem to be right, let me know, and I'll jump on there and have a look. Maybe there's a bug, but I think that we're pretty much good to go with this version for the time being. One last thing before I wrap this up, it's important to note that for these, so for the boxing functionality here, this is enabled by default. If you want the software to pick up even more significant highs and lows for the swings, well, then you have to go to the trend line section and you have to change this swing significant. If you put this to 21, for example, just using random Fibonacci numbers, it doesn't really matter, then it's going to look at even more significant areas. I think they'll probably be the same. Yeah, they're the same for this one, but if we go to the 4-hour chart, it's going to look at probably this one here down to here. Yes. Okay, and it's going to show you where you have more significant swings. And if you want to get really crazy and really find the big swings, let's go to trend line. Let's go, for example, 50. And it's going to show you the really big swings. The really big swings. Let's zoom out a little bit. I'll probably take from here to here, maybe. Yeah, from this one to this one. Okay, so this is a very major swing. Okay, when you have a major swing like that, and then price coming up to the 50%, which it pretty much already did here. And we were like this, came very close, came to the supply. We went a little bit deeper next time. So it's going to come to at least this area here, which is why I have this box marked off. This is actually a new broker I'm testing out. I'm testing out new brokers all the time for performance and spreads and whatnot. And so things just look a little bit different on this broker relative to the one that I was using before for my algo testing. But this is what it looks like, and it's pretty cool. So I think if you keep that swing significance at a pretty high level, then you'll be really focusing on really significant price structures instead of these tiny little ones. As an example, if we go to this, the 30-minute chart, and we go here and we change this setting, the trend line, to like 2. Then it's going to go to the really small swings. It's probably going to go from here to here, maybe. Let's see. It's going to take this one here. So they're even more quickly established areas, and that's not going to do you a whole lot of good. Okay, so you want to focus on the big ones. If you're not sure, then keep that number big. Rather too big than too small. So put it on, for example, if we put it on, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but you could put it on 100, and then it'll show you, I mean, the really big ones. It's going to go probably, I'm guessing, from here down to here. No, it simply didn't find one. Let's go here to here. It's probably going to go from this one here down to the low. Yeah, that's the same one we had before. So this is a really significant price structure. Okay, we have our origin, which is here, to current price, which is there, and so price moving back up to a little bit higher to here somewhere is going to be a pretty interesting place for price to react at. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you're in doubt, increase that number so you get really clear swings, and you take the fibs in the configuration that we talk about, and you go like this. And you say 50%, and this is the cheapest price that you want to start to sell at, and that lines up nicely with this. Price bounces, we sit on it, and we cut away. So support becomes resistance at the future. So you might want to look at least to begin to sell at a price no cheaper than where this lines up just here. Okay, so experiment and have fun. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for watching.